So the first thing I do want to point out is that on Mondays, now we're talking about the HPMRs here, and on Mondays in the room drive, I'll put in the packs. So you'll see RH HPMR for stocks, futures, Forex, and ETFs. All right. Now, the file you do want to also look at is the HPMR packs with the date. So it'll be the Monday that I posted. So the next one will be May 4. Right. So it'll say RH HPMR packs for May 4. And inside that text file will be what's in each one of the packs. So let me show you what the text file looks like, and so you'll know what each pack contains. Now I'm open to requests. If there's enough requests for a particular symbol, I'll add it in. But this is what the HPMR packs look like right now. So we have the futures with the ESNQ, YMRTY, ZB, CL, GC6J. I don't think I can pull the VIX, otherwise I'd pull the VIX too, which would be kind of nice to have. Then for the Forex pack, all the majors. In other words, if it trades against the US dollar, you can consider the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, kind of the minors or the COMDOL. But I'll put in the majors because those are going to affect futures traders trading currencies the most. In other words, trading the 6E, 6J, 6B, 6C, 6A, 6N. I don't trade the franc very much, but you'll see that all the currencies that we could trade as futures traders that are liquid, I'll have the associating Forex ones. Now, the reason we have the Forex packs in this room is because, again, if you're trading currency futures, you've got to know what the underlying Forex market's doing before you wander into any of the sixes, okay? We have the stock HPMR pack. I'm pretty open to whatever you guys want to put in there. Again, it's majority rules, so if I get enough requests for certain symbols, I had a ton of requests for Tesla. I could care less. I absolutely could care less what Tesla's doing as a futures trader, but a lot of folks do like to trade it, so I'll put that in there. Clearly, the rest of them are relevant to the broader markets: Google, Nvidia, Netflix, Intel, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, with particular emphasis on Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, and Google as far as weighting in the S&P goes. All right, Netflix, Nvidia, not that heavily weighted within the tech. Intel, not, relatively, from a relative performance standpoint, we don't have the, as much emphasis on Intel, Netflix, Nvidia. It's Facebook, Google, right? Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, okay? And then finally, we have the ETF pack, which some of you have told me that, hey, the ETFs are, the options on the ETFs are something that you do look at in lieu of the NQ, the YM, etc. So I added those ETFs as well as a couple of the sectors that week to week I might look at. Of course, we have the GLD ETF for gold and the TLT ETF for the ZB, and then this week, because I had my eye on financials, semis, and healthcare, I had those. So I'm open to other ideas on the ETFs. Again, if I have enough requests for a particular symbol, it'll get added. All right. And if you do have a request for a symbol to be added to one of the packs, excluding Forex, because that list is not gonna change. Just email me at ragi@simplertrading.com. And I don't know why this has happened all of a sudden, but a lot of folks are hitting me up on different email addresses, particularly my personal email address. Hey gang, straight up, one, I'm not going to answer them. Two, they get deleted. All right, so send me the email to ragi@simplertrading, and I'll be happy to answer it. Because I know with different logins that I have, I use different email addresses. If you guys want me to answer the email, send it there, okay? If it goes to another email address, it just straight up gets deleted. So send them over whatever requests that you might have. And then, like I said, if there's enough of them, I'm happy to add the pack. And if we have to have more packs, cool, I'll do it. What we might end up with, if we go higher than 8 symbols per pack, it tends to bog toss down. If you have too many packs running on a lot of charts, it will bog the system down. Okay? What about other 6s? Yeah, I'm not against that. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Sam? Yeah, so like the 6s? Sure, that might actually make more sense in the Forex pack. So like if we were going to do a currencies HPMR pack in lieu of the Forex, that would probably make more sense. So like a currencies pack of some of the 6s, that's not a bad idea. I'll put some thought into that. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. I like that idea very much. All right, so this is the list that we are looking at. All right. So those are just basically the notes that get uploaded into the Room Drive. All right, so take a look again. When you go into the Room Drive, you'll see the list. So take a look at that list and download the relevant packs, download the text file so you'll know what's in each pack. All right. The other question that I get a lot of is installing the pack. Now, there's a lot of ways you can import it. One of the questions that I do get a request is for a shared file. Gang, and David's explained this to me, and I know this is something that may not necessarily pop up in your head, but the reason I don't do it is, well, one, it's going to bog your toss down, because every time you have a shared file, it will create a shared. It'll just keep creating multiple versions of that file, and it will bog your platform down. In fact, I will go so far as to, from time to time, just get rid of all these darn shared, whatever folks have shared with me in the past. I will just, get rid of them from time to time. They will bog my system down. All those shared underscores, gone, I'll do that from time to time. So the HPMR packs will start with RH. I'll always call them the same name, because that way, once you have imported and then added the indicator, the ThinkScript, to your chart, all you need to do every week on Monday is overwrite them. So that's the reason we don't do a shared item, a shared chart, because it will just create week after week after week multiple versions of these, and it will bog your toss down. So it's imperative that you open up the studies however you get there, right? And then click on import, and then wherever you have downloaded your HPMR pack, so you go into the Room Drive, you click the download button next to the, let me open the Room Drive again. You click on the download button right here, download button right next to each file that you want to download. And then wherever it is you download it, just kind of make a mental note of that. And that is where you're going to end up importing, wherever it is on your hard drive, you're going to import that from there into your platform. And then just to pull up RH whatever, right? Pull up RH whatever, and then add the individual HPMR to whatever chart you'd like. Now, when you do import, let me just do an import here real quick. So when you do import, when I talk about the overwriting, because this is pretty darn important. So I just tend to put all my downloads either in the download folder or on my desktop, whatever works for you guys. But let's say you want to import the futures, okay? So you're importing the futures study, and you click open. See how that pops up right there? That's really important. Don't just kind of dismiss that. You do. When it says, do you really want to replace? Heck yes, we do, right? We do want to replace that. So you will click on the yes. That's super important that you click on the yes. We do want to replace that. All right? And if you import all 4 of the packs, you will be prompted for every pack that TOS realizes you have an older version already sitting in your platform for. it will say, do you want to rewrite this one? Do you want to, or sorry, overwrite this one, overwrite this one, overwrite? Yes, 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 every time. That way you'll always have one version, which is the most current version on your platform. You do not want multiple versions of this sitting on TOS, okay? And you want to limit the number of HPMRs you're running per chart and how many charts you have running them anyways, because again, it will bog the system down. Okay, so be conscientious of that. But that's how you download, import, overwrite. And the other thing you're going to want to do is just delete the old HPMRs from your desktop. Just once you've imported them into Thinkorswim, you can delete them. Okay, because they'll always be in the room drive till the following Monday. So delete the old ones so you never are importing a older version inadvertently. So just once you've imported them into TOS, go back to your downloads or desktop or wherever you download the freshest HPMR ThinkScript. Just delete it from your computer, from your desktop, downloads folder, wherever it is. And just remember, you can always go back to the RIM drive and get them anew if you need. Okay, so we're going to download them, import them, overwrite them, and add them. That's it. That's it. So that's a quick breakdown of the HPMRs installation. All right. So the second part of this conversation, that wasn't too bad, right? That wasn't too bad. All right. So the next thing is, well, what do they plot on your chart? Now, I will typically put these on 1 minute charts. And that's usually what I do. On Forex, I might do a 5 minute, but you can go to slightly larger time frames at a 1. I'm trying to remember where they stop. I think as long as it's an intraday time frame, they'll plot on pretty much anything. So even if you were to pull up a 60-minute time frame, the HPMR will plot. All right. So what they do is they plot these red and green boxes. Now this formula, this approach, is something that I've made available to everybody. And it's in the Roggy.io folder. So if you want to get a better idea of, okay, Rog, thanks for the indicator, but what exactly is it doing? How does it plot? What is it telling me? So if you head on over to Roggy.io, no www, just type in my first name, RAGHEE.io, you'll end up here, okay? And under the explainers, there is the hourly projected price movement range high and the hourly projected price movement range low. So these two PDFs right here. Open each one of them up. Now, when it comes to the box folder, got a lot of questions about this one too. Once you click on this, gang, sometimes it may not populate like this, right? Just refresh the page. Sometimes the actual doc won't show up. All right, just refresh the page. But what you actually ultimately want to do if you want this file is to click download. All right. Now that goes for any of the files, the ELDs, the ThinkScripts, whatever, right? If you want to go into TradeStation and download something, when you click on the file, it's going to say you can't view it. And I can't tell you how many times people say, Rog, I can't view it. You don't need to view it. All right. You don't need to do that. That is not what you need to do. Download. Download. Okay. This is just a file of like a locker of files. It's just where we house a whole bunch of files for y'all to access. And it's just holding them for you. So you want to download them to your computer. If it's a PDF, download it to your computer and view it on your PC. You don't have to view the PDF from within this. And if you want to download any script, ELD, workspace, ThinkScript, whatever it is, remember, you want to download it. It does not automatically execute from here. Nothing magical happens from here, gang. Click on it. It's going to give you the same error, or not even error. It's going to give you this, we're sorry. Doesn't matter. You go, you know what? No apologies, box. I didn't need you to preview this for me anyways, because I'm just here to download it. All right. So whether you download it from here or whether you download it from here, you just need to download it. All right. So, and then you'll go through the process of importing and whatnot from that point. Now, by the way, I do a tech session, but it's not what I do a lot of. I don't do a lot of tech support. My tech skills are good, but I'm good enough just to kind of get myself through things. Being able to walk other people through tech issues like Daryl and Eric and David do, that is a whole other skill. That is a whole other temperament. I don't have it. I'll try, I try to walk you guys through as much of this as possible. Now, where I fall short, and gosh, I will fall short. Where I fall short, we have a dedicated tech session 4 days a week. And we also have folks at the office at Simpler HQ that will help walk you through this if you're having any individual problems. I know everyone's tech skills are very different. Totally get it. And so if you do have a question, we have folks at the office. And by the way, most of these are really basic things. In other words, you could call up TradeStation, say, hey, look, I need you to help me walk through importing something. You could call Thinkorswim and say, look, I just need some help importing something. And they have tech support people too. So once you've downloaded this, whether it be from the Room Drive or whether it be from Rocky.io, and you need some help specific to whatever issue you might be having, feel free to call up the brokers too. That's one thing that's really handy. They have a whole cadre of people that can help you with technical issues. All right, TradeStation and Thinkorswim. So if you're stuck, don't get frustrated. Give the office a call, meaning Simpler, or give the broker a call and say, look, I just need some help importing and activating an indicator. And they do have people that can help you. All right, so you can check out, again, how these are calculated. I've always made this very open. We take the auto chartist data and we project highs and lows based upon time and historical volatility. And that is what plots these dynamic levels. Now, let me mention something else about these indicators. Something else I need to mention. All right, so we know to a certain degree once you read those PDFs why they're being plotted. So a couple things to remember. These are going to move around throughout the hour based on any new highs or lows that are plotted between the hours. So 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. So any new highs or lows that are plotted for that 60-minute block, top of the hour to top of the hour, when we plot a new high, it will re-plot the HPMR support. Okay? And when we plot a new low, right, it'll plot a brand new HPMR resistance. And the cool thing is, this happens automatically. You don't have to do anything. But if you were to try to look back on the day, right? Let's say you look back on the day and you just want to study the HPMRs, it will actually leave you with a sort of misleading view of what the HPMRs look like live. So you cannot go back in time, gang. I want to make this really, really clear. You cannot go back in time and go, oh, I could have bought that HPMR and oh, I could have sold that. That's not necessarily going to be the case, because the HPMR that gets frozen in place is the one that reflected the most recent high and the most recent low for that hour. The hour ends and boom, those HPMRs are locked in place. All right. So, if you're looking at it live, well, like where we are right now in the YM, this is a live look at the HPMRs. All right. So live look at the high and low, and the highest high for the hour, which is currently right there, and the lowest low for the hour, which is right there, that's what's dictating this and this. That's the way that works. Now, again, if that's a little confusing, check out the PDFs. I explain with total transparency what it is that I'm calculating, how we calculate it. It is simple arithmetic, although we kind of laughingly call it the algo here in the room. But it's using the auto chartist data and then the highs and lows for the hour. And these get plotted dynamically based on that. So what we would want to do at resistance has to be within the context of the trend and our market barometer and, a number of other factors. A lot of traders think, well, we're just going to, buy one level and then sell the other and just kind of ping pong like that all day. I guess you could. But what I want to do is I want to place particular emphasis on days that I'd rather focus on shorts. Now, I mentioned earlier today in the chat room that the market barometer was saying we need to short. So that means that when I go back and look at the HPMRs for the indices, I'm looking at that red zone as resistance, and that resistance is what I want to focus on for entries. The green zones then become support and potential profit targets, right? So I am going to pick a side. I am going to pick a side as often as I can. Now, if the market barometer is choppy, if the market barometer is mixed, as we like to say, then yes, you might have an opportunity to go back and forth between the HPMRs. But those are not ideal days. Those aren't the kind of trading days that I love. Right? We like the kind of trading days where there's some clarity on the barometer, clarity on, whether that be a reaction to the gap, a reaction to initial balance, red grab candles, a break of the VWAP, the V score, whatever it may be, and say, you know what? The red is my entry, the green is my target, or vice versa. The green is my entry, the red is my target. So I will prefer to pick a side. And that way, I can use the HPMRs within the context of their ceilings that I want to short or floors that I want to buy. Again, historical price movement range determined, automated support and resistance. So they're not a strategy in and of themselves, right? That's not why I created them. They are reflecting the hourly price movement range that AutoChartist has discovered and calculated, right? They realize that they have this data and that they could break the day and the week down in a very specific way. It's data that, as far, nobody has this data but AutoChartist. They've been doing it for well over a decade. And then we're using that data through my, as I joke and say, my algorithm to plot these HPMRs. So a lot of you have been asking for kind of a deep dive on the HPMRs, and I thought, well, what better time to do that on a middle of the day Friday and give you guys just a thorough walkthrough on that. All right? I hope that helps.